In today's weekend wash, we're going to be cleaning up the Lexus with some new products from the glove box. And don't forget to watch the video all the way to the end because we're going to be giving away one of these glove boxes also, so stay tuned. So here's what came in the May glove box. We have two Adams products, their strip wash and their iron remover. So both of these we're going to try out today, and we also have this product here, which is a ceramic spray coat or a spray sealant from Detail Supply. When it comes to strip washes, what do you do to strip off old waxes and sealants? This is one way. However, I don't necessarily rely on chemical like this or shampoos or soaps to strip sealants and waxes. If they're fresh sealants and waxes, stuff like this doesn't really work. If it's older waxes and sealants that are kind of on their way out, then yes, this helps break them up and, start to strip them away. Will it strip them away completely? Not that I have found. However, it's a strong wash and it can be used to initially clean vehicles. So I'm going to use it on our vehicle just to see what it does. I do have some protection on here already, but we'll see what that does. And I'm also going to do an iron decon. I may clay it, but I want to see what this can pull off of the paint. And this is a great example because it's a white vehicle. So I'm going to mix this up. Let's see how much this usually uses, and then we'll mix it up in our foam cannon. So I only fill up the foam cannon here about a third of the way, and I'm just going to put a few ounces in here. And let's see how that foams up. And this doesn't necessarily have to be a thick foam. Sometimes that in between runny and thick is the perfect consistency. That's kind of what I usually shoot for. Sometimes a little bit thicker sometimes, but you know what? It doesn't really matter. I can work with whatever. If it's consistency that you're looking for and that in between thin and thick, find that perfect ratio, mark it down, and figure out exactly how many ounces you need. And then you just, always put that amount. But, soaps are going to change. Some are more thick than others, so you'll just have to play with the ratios until you get it right. Now, as we take a quick look around the vehicle, we got some buggage and some junk here on the paint. It's not horrible. And like usual, the back is always the worst. So I'm really curious to see how much that iron remover pulls off of the back here, and maybe the lower panels as well. And it's usually all the lower panels that will have iron deposits from the brakes. So I have some bug remover here from Hyper Clean. I'm going to spray it on dry and just let it dwell for a little bit. The vehicle's been kind of sitting in the shade, so I'm okay with spraying it on dry. Just keep an eye on it and make sure it doesn't dry fully, but you can really see it start to eat away at the bugs. And usually these will blast right away. Sometimes you have to use a little bug scrubber. Eats away very, very quickly. Nice. Yeah, you can really see it eating away at the bugs. That's a good sign. All right, in just about maybe 2 minutes or so, let's see how they blast off. Pretty easily. There's a few little tough bugs on there that have remained. I'll probably hit that with a bug sponge. Now, you may see that I'm getting kind of close. It's okay. This pressure washer is not super high pressure. It's about 1,000 PSI. So we're not going for crazy pressure here. So that needs a little bit more, or maybe just the wash will remove the rest of that. All right, so with that done, oh, and I know I hit a deer here a while back and the bumper keeps kind of popping out, and I have to fix that lamp down there too. So let's give her a rinse and let's try the strip wash. You can see I do have some protection on here towards the bottom. It's starting to fail, but I forget what I have on here. I'm always spraying something on here. And when it comes to deconning, do you want to decon first using the iron remover or tar remover first? Or do you want to do your pre-washing, your foaming, your contact wash? Look guys, that type of thing is up to your standard operating procedure. I've seen guys say one thing and then others say another. It comes down to personal preference. And you may have your reasons for doing so, but it's not a rule across the board. So you do whatever works for your standard operating procedure. If you're a DIY guy or someone who's working on their own vehicle, go through whatever stages you deem as safe and necessary. But as a detailing business, sometimes going through all of those stages is just, it's not advantageous because the customer's not paying for all of that. If they're paying for all of that, cool, go ahead and do it. But if not, do not waste your time going through all of those stages to try to appease the customer, and the customer's like, yeah, I don't really care. So you have to have that conversation with your customer. Don't just do stuff without really inquiring, you know, because that could just be a waste of time and money on your part. Not really a good business decision. A detailing decision, yeah, sure. I mean, you can go through and pull out all the stops and do everything possible to make sure the vehicle is clean and deconned and looking perfect. But if the customer's not paying for that, you are doing your business a disservice. So just remember all of those things. It's a little thicker than what I wanted, but that's okay. So I'll know for next time, put half the amount of soap that I put in before. But let's let that sit a little bit and then I'll go to contact washing it. You could essentially use this like a pre-wash, but you know, it's kind of up to you. I'm gonna go right into contact washing. Cleans off these bugs pretty well. Now, normally I'm going to use multiple mitts. Usually I will use a separate mitt for the top portions, a separate mitt for the bottom portions, but this is just my own vehicle. I just need a quick wash. I don't need to be that crazy, but that's just me. That's just on my own vehicle. I don't need to go to that, to those, you know, extremes, basically. Not that they're extremes, but I treat my car differently than I treat customers' cars. That's just the way it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes our lives are just hectic and crazy, and I don't have time to put all of that effort that I put into my customers' cars into my own vehicle. Again, it's just the way it is. Okay, this is interesting. So check this out, guys. Now I'm just rinsing. And it actually kind of brought some of the beading back to life. Whatever spray coatings I'm using on this seem to be pretty strong, and the beading is actually coming back, as you can see, like pretty strong. You can see here the beading is pretty nice all the way to the bottoms here. It's still struggling because, of course, I don't know what I put on this, and I don't know how long stuff has been on here. But this panel, whatever I put on here, is doing extremely well. Almost like a coating. I forget what I put on that. Could have been some sort of a spray coating. Whatever I had here on this panel, not so much. It kind of brought it back to life. And whatever protection I have here on the doors, it's slow sheeting and a little bit of beading up towards the top. But it pretty much looks the same before I washed it. So that's pretty good. And again, whatever I have back here, it's beading and sheeting pretty well. And the glass is responding really well. We usually clean it with some sort of a glass sealant. So like a product that cleans and protects at the same time. We have some of the Rain-X stuff and some of the Stoner stuff that works really well. So is this strip wash going to just demolish any protection you have on here? No, it's not. And again, it's not a knock on the product. It's just those types of soaps and shampoos don't really do that. It's a strong cleaner, yeah, but a strip wash only in the idea that it strips away dirt and grime, yeah, but don't think it's going to strip away old sealants and waxes and things like that, because some of the stuff I've had on here for who knows how many months and it's still beading. So it cleans well, but I just don't believe in the notion that a shampoo or a chemical like that is going to strip old waxes and sealants with just a simple wash like that. Usually with sealants, waxes, or even coatings, it needs abrasion. You need to polish it away to clean the surface completely. That's the only way to really ensure that the surface is completely protection-free. No waxes, sealants, coatings, or anything. You compound it or you polish it. Even just a one-step polish is going to remove most even coatings that are on there. Sealants and waxes, it'll obliterate them. Coatings, you may need like a medium cut foam pad or even a microfiber and a medium polish of some sort. But if you're removing the swirls, then you're removing whatever's on the surface, even if it's a strong coating. If you see that it's removing swirls, the coating is gone. So that's a good sign. That's one way to know that you've removed any previous protection. But don't rely on a shampoo to remove waxes and sealants. You're going to need some sort of abrasion. But again, it's not a knock on the product. It's just a fact. It's just a realization that detailers will come to realize. If you're a new detailer, this information is good. If you've been in the game for a while, you understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, because it actually brought back to life some of the protection that's on this side and the other side too. So it's actually good. It cleaned off the grime and allowed the protection to kind of come through. And I'm going to do a no-no. I'm not going to wash the wheels, the tires. It just doesn't need it. So I filled up my bucket thinking I was going to do it, but all right, maybe just the tires, maybe just the face. And this is a wheel and tire cleaner that I got from one of the last glove boxes. Now, if you're concerned about me doing the wheels last, oh no, don't be. Check out the video I have in the card. It just lays out some logic. Okay, now it's time for the iron remover. Everything is washed and rinsed down. So let's put this on a fine mist. And let's just spray down the majority of the vehicle. Let's see what iron particles will start to be dissolved. Now remember, products like this are usually pH neutral. They are not high alkaline and they are not acidic. The reaction that you usually get from that thioglycolate, the reaction that you get from the iron removing chemical when it turns purple, that little purple, that's the acidic reaction. But it is not like you think. It is not a strong acid. It's just enough to dissolve those minerals, those iron deposits, and then it turns black and it actually neutralizes. So this is not a strong acid cleaner. And I don't know why some detailers may use this as a strip product. It's not really. But it can remove those iron particles. And I can already see it's removing some. I can see some stuff turning purple. Yep, little bits here and there. Not a ton though. Not as much as I was expecting. And you can put this on dry or wet, but I like to do it after the vehicle is washed. Wash away the heavy, heavy contamination first. So the chemical has time to actually dwell on the iron particles and not have to fight through dirt and grime that might be on the paint. Because if you do it before, there might be some iron particles on the paint, but they're not really bonded. They'll wash away, and you're seeing that react. But wash it first, and then you can do your chemical decon. Now, do you do this before or after clay? Again, dealer's choice. It's up to you. Many detailers will have their reasons why they do this first or clay first. It doesn't matter to me. I'll switch it up. Sometimes I'll do this first, sometimes I'll do clay after. It doesn't matter. And I know you might have your reasons saying, do the iron first, that way it dissolves it, then you can clay it, or you can use the clay mitt in conjunction with this. Totally fine, you can do that as well. But in the grand scheme of things, it really does not matter which one you do first, because usually if you're doing this, you're going to do some sort of polishing after. This is heavy deconning, and if you're doing this, again, you're going to be doing some sort of polishing. So a little bit of iron particle there, I see. Not a ton though. Not a ton at all. It's starting to pick up some more back here. There we go. I was waiting. I was hoping to see some more reaction up here. And yeah, I see it. It's starting to react up there. A few little bits down there. Yep, a few there. A few there. On the sides, not really seeing anything, actually. Yeah, a few there, a few there. Not a ton though. The majority of it is back here, even down here. I'm not seeing a ton. One little bit right there. That's it. But I definitely see the most of it back here. All right, so before it dries, we're gonna rinse that off. You can agitate if you want. You can spray more if you want, but that's totally up to you. So let's rinse her down. All right, not bad at all. It can still use a clay barring. I just don't have time for it now, but I will get to it at some point. Now, is this the type of chemical that you have to neutralize or anything like that? No. Even with the purple reaction, it's going to neutralize on its own. It's not a problem. We're not spraying strong acids or anything like that. So that's why it's a nice product to use for dissolving iron without it being super caustic or really nasty chemicals. It's just not. In fact, that chemical was kind of designed by accident, and then it was marketed into the detailing world to remove iron particles. Before that, you just use a clay bar and you just make sure the paint is nice and smooth. And people were applying waxes, sealants, and coatings before the iron remover came out. So the iron remover stuff is fairly new. And even if you have a few little iron particles here and there, if you didn't use that iron remover on this, in fact, I would have just sprayed it in the back and a few panels on the side, and if it didn't react that much, I would have stopped using it over the entire vehicle. There's no need to use all of that chemical over all of the vehicle just for a few little dots. Again, in the grand scheme of things, if you just clay bar those areas and it's nice and smooth and you polish it and coat it, those little tiny areas, those little tiny iron particles are not going to make a difference in your coating application one bit. You're talking a tiny little microscopic area, and it's just not going to make a big deal. You got to think through that stuff. Don't just believe whoever is saying you have to use an iron remover, you have to do this, you have to do that. It's just simply not true. People have been applying coatings before the iron removers came out with no problems. Just use logic. Now, time for this detail spray. Now, this is a typical kind of all-in-one product. It is a ceramic infused spray, and it can be used as a detail spray, a waterless wash, a spray sealant, a glass cleaner, all of that stuff. Lots of these types of products on the market, and they are awesome for any detailer because of its versatility. For mobile guys, it's great because you can just use it as an all-around type of detail spray. Cleans, shines, adds protection. Tons of products like that on the market. Let's see how this one works. I'm going to shake it, and I'm going to just mist it on to the panel as it's wet because it can be used as a wireless wash. So wet or dry, doesn't matter. Nice plush drying towel. This one is from Suds Lab. I am loving this towel. Nice twisted loop drying towel. And I mean, the towel itself does all the drying for you, but this is just going to add that slickness. It's going to add some lubrication as you dry. And oh yeah, very, very slick. It feels really, really good. So again, it's just a simple, easy product to use. Super, super easy application. So you can also put this product in a pump spray bottle, make the application even easier, which is, again, just a time saver for mobile detailers and any detailer in general. Again, it can go on glass. Will you get any streaking? If you do, again, just use damp towels. It might just be over application. Sometimes you get streaking, and that's all it is, just over application. Man, that dries so easily. And this stuff boasts 6 months. Is it going to get 6 months in the real world? I don't know. It kind of depends on your area and what you're doing to the car and how much it's driven and all of those factors. In a perfect world, if you're keeping your car garage, you drive it just a little bit each day, but you're keeping it garage, you wash it maybe once a week and you apply this stuff. I mean, the more you apply it, you're adding layers of protection anyway. But if your car is always beating water like that, every time you wash it and you just apply another coat, it's just adding more and more layers. You don't have to apply it and then just let it go and try to have that protection really fight it out for 6 months. There's no need to do that. If you want to test it, fine. But those testings really don't do much for me because that's not the way you're supposed to care for your vehicle anyway. So even washing it every 2 weeks and just reapply it. A light mist of it, and it's going to be beating water anyway. Or you can blow dry your car and just go over with a small towel and just quickly wipe all of the surfaces down with this spray. Just a couple of mists, that's all it takes. That's the simple and easy and proper way to make sure that your vehicle is staying clean and protected and glossy and slick all the time. That's the way you properly care for a vehicle. It seems logical, right? So why do anything else? Why mess with all of the other crazy things that you might see on YouTube trying to let a product, you know, fight it out for the 6-month durability test? Test it if you want, but in the real world, it doesn't mean anything to me. Care for your vehicle properly, that way it's always clean and protected. All right, so the Lexus is clean and she's protected now and half deconned. It still needs a clay barring, but again, I'll get to that later. Now the product's performed as they should. And again, what I said about the strip wash, it's not a knock on the product, it's just simply facts. So is it a good shampoo? Yeah, it is. It's actually a good, strong, cleaning shampoo, but it's not gonna strip away old sealants and waxes. I've never found any shampoo to actually do that. Just understand what the products can actually do in real life. The iron remover seemed to be really awesome stuff. It didn't have that overwhelming stinky smell. It actually smelled a little fruity when it misted and atomized out of the bottle, which is really nice. And that spray sealant stuff is awesome. I love all-around products because it can be used anywhere. Super easy to use and produces awesome results. Dried the vehicle super quick and now it feels slick. It feels really, really, really nice. So guys, if you want to win this month's glove box and try out some of those products for yourself, then all you have to do is support our channel. Basically, like, subscribe, and just share it everywhere you can. On Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, whatever your social media platforms are. Share it with friends and family who enjoy washing their vehicles and want to learn some stuff, or just enjoy watching detailing videos and just kind of entertainment value or kind of comfort value. I have some people that like to watch the videos and like some of the ASMR stuff. I do a little bit of that, and it's just comforting. It's just enjoyable to watch and listen to. And let me know down below, do you want to see just pure ASMR videos with very little talking, no music, and just all the car wash sounds? I've done that before and it just kind of flopped on our channel. Not a lot of people were into it, even though some said they were. But when I actually tried it, they didn't really like it. And I'll have some options down below if I can find them on the channel and watch those videos and see if that's something you want. Maybe I'll throw a few of them in every once in a while. But mostly this is more of a teaching channel, so I'm going to be talking and demonstrating, and music just kind of brings everything together and makes the whole video more enjoyable. That's why I do it. Don't compare it to other channels that are just purely ASMR or whatever, because my channel is my channel. It's different. If you're here enjoying the content and, you know, enjoy learning, then that's what you're here for. Don't try to force it into something else, because I've tried that and everything just flops. If you're here for a reason, and I hope you're enjoying the videos. And if you are, consider subscribing and clicking that bell so you don't miss stuff. Don't forget to hashtag it Detail Glove Box. Hashtag Detail Glove Box in your comment, because that's how I pick the winner. If you don't have that in your comment, you're not going to win. So make sure to have that in your comment. And again, just share it with everyone that you can and help grow the channel. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.